In the battle against Boko Haram, America's already there, working with the Nigerian military to train them in the most effective way of defeating the terrorist killers. But the effort won't go far unless the Nigerian government can fend off opposition in their own country, and that means a protracted war against Boko Haram. Our guest is a lawyer specializing in criminal law, international law, and is also professor of international criminal law at the University of Amsterdam. Goran Sluter joins us today. Goran, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We need to look at Boko Haram in effect here in America of so much else that is going on. We have ISIS, we have Al-Qaeda, we have so many different issues. Why should America be concerned about what happens? I mean, the humanitarian, we understand, we get that. But what is it about the Boko Haram inference, what is it about what's happening in Nigeria that will impact America?
Well, Nigeria is a huge country. It's the biggest democracy in Africa with almost 200 million people. If it's getting destabilized, it will have consequences for U.S. interests. Also economically, there's a lot of oil in the south, so it is in everybody's interest that Nigeria keeps stable. It's not only Boko Haram that is an issue, but it's also about the elections. And one of the candidates at the elections, General Buhari, he is suspected of having committed crimes against humanity, and that's an issue. I'm representing clients from Nigeria, and we have submitted last week a criminal complaint to the International Criminal Court regarding this presidential candidate's behavior.
When we talk about
many of these issues are not known in Europe or in the United States. Well, you're right, it's all a matter of degree, but in this case there's clear and consistent evidence that during the last elections in 2011, this candidate incited to violence against the supporters of the other candidates during this election, and this has resulted in 800 persons being killed and 65,000 persons being displaced. And even according to African standards, in the African context, these are massive crimes, and this person should be held accountable for these crimes. And my clients are seeking justice for the victims of 2011. But what they also sincerely hope is that it will have a deterrent effect for the upcoming elections in a couple of weeks.
How horrible are the atrocities in Nigeria on a day-to-day basis with these different governments?
I have talked with two victims and their relatives. They have been killed. They have been burned to death in a police station where they were seeking refuge. They were trying to hide from the angry and violent mob. So they are now looking forward to take the case at the international level and to seek justice with the International Criminal Court in The Hague. And we have in the complaint about 70 pages. We are fully transparent. The complaint is available on my law firm's website. We have set out in detail the evidence of this candidate, General Buhari, who has incited in speeches to commit horrible crimes against his opponent's supporters. He wanted to win the election at all costs.